So, hello and welcome to this 12 noon live powered by IDFC First Bank. We are gearing up for the second test match between India and Sri Lanka, the last of the series. India are 1-0 ahead in the series and would be aiming to go on and clean sweep Sri Lanka, take one step forward towards the WTC final scenario. Right now, the scenario in Mackay. A bit in a game between Bangladesh and Australia is also pretty grave, when and Australia have perhaps switched on their intensity and saw them dismissed for 64.
Yeah, 64.
64 with
64.
Mitchell Stark taking 6 wickets, and they were all fired up as it was expected. So, but at the same time, the main focus is here at the SSC Stadium, the Sinhalese Cricket Club in Colombo, for the second Test match. Shamikda, you were here since morning. We'll come to the playing 11 and the discussion, but what have you observed from the Sri Lanka practice session, and particularly how they have been preparing the pitch as well?
Yeah, Shubhan. To start with, yes, normal service is resumed in Australia. Uh, that is on a lighter note. On a serious note, I was very impressed with the way Gary Kirsten was giving slip catching. I mean, he used to do that to the Indian cricket team as well, and it was sort of like having. I mean, going back into not in a time machine, but I mean, going back to the past, down memory lane, the way he used to do that with the Indian cricket team when he was the Indian cricket team head coach. And mind, that team had some brilliant slip catches. Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, you name it. They were super slip catches. Now coming to this game, that was basically I didn't notice anything special as far as Sri Lanka's practice is concerned, but the there was an emphasis on playing spin. The new players who have come to the squad, they had their sessions, and in terms of preparing the pitch, I mean the ground staff were tending to the 22 years. But funnily, since morning, I don't know whether they watered it. I mean, until we are here yesterday, when India finished their practice session, until then there was no watering. I don't know if they watered it in the evening, but today itself in the morning, I didn't see just a light roller was there, and even that roller was not used, is not used yet. Um, and since morning, I haven't seen them watering the pitch.
And them not watering the pitch could signal to many different areas. Vaibhav, you were also speaking to someone in the Sri Lankan media in the here at the SSC. What have they told you about the pitch that we can expect for the second test?
They are saying it's unlikely to be a turner. For starters, they said it is not going to be a turner, only for simple reasons, as we have been discussing since yesterday as well. This is the most vulnerable batting lineup that Sri Lanka can play with. Given that their three first choice players, including the most experienced player in Dinesh Chandimal, who has scored the most runs among the active players at this venue, is not there. So this is definitely not going to play into Sri Lanka's hands. Obviously, we have been talking about bridging the gap if they provide a lottery pitch. But then Sri Lanka are also cautious that the things might get bundled out inside the 3 days. The match can get inside 3 days, and it could go either way. So I think it's about preparing a similar wicket is what I am hearing, that it could be very much similar to what we have seen in Gaul.
Okay.
Plenty of assistance for the spinners, but definitely something in there for the fast bowlers as well, and good for batting as well. A Gaul pitch, it remained good for batting even in the last day as well. So it's not going to be changed drastically, and we have seen, if you look at recent history, recent matches in at this venue at SSC, you'll see teams, visiting teams, home teams scoring good amount of runs, especially in their first innings. So I don't think things are going to be changed drastically, as things as we were speaking about Gaul as well, that maybe they could have turned up with a spin friendly wicket in Gaul, but that didn't happen, and unlikely to happen at SSC as well.
And cricket, Sri Lankan cricket, they want the matches to go as long as possible and not finish in 2 days or 3 days. That's more to do with the business side of cricket, and not just, because gate receipt, they're not receiving anything. It's free entry for all here as well, like the first test. So they are not taking any gate receipt. So the only profitable aspect of this series is advertisement, is broadcast money, is broadcast revenue. So they want the match to go as deep as possible. But we'll when both the press conferences happen, we'll ask about the pitch as well. From India's side, Gautam Gambhir is expected to turn up for the press conference. So let's see how it goes up. It's never a dull press conference when Gigi turns up for it. So let's see what he has to say about the first test win, and of course looking ahead for the second test as well. But Shamika, at the same time, I mean, Sri Lanka, Gary Custon did talk about, having that home advantage, winning a test match. They have not done too well in test format, in this format, especially in the last 3 4 years. Sri Lanka used to be kind of one of the toughest countries to come to and play test cricket, regardless of whether the team is Asian subcontinent or others from Sena countries. That has slipped away from Sri Lanka a bit in the last 3 4 5 years. Considering the series is on the line, it can 1-1 is a possibility if Sri Lanka play well. What are you expecting them to do? Prepare a rank turner? You have said multiple times that rank turner is possibly the best case scenario for Sri Lanka here. So are they focusing too much on the business sides of thing and not giving their own team the advantage they perhaps require against a stronger opposition like India?
Absolutely, Shubhan. I mean, I still reiterate that, I mean, there is no point preparing a good pitch from Sri Lanka's point of view, because if it is a good pitch, given the difference between the two sides, Sri Lanka will finish on the losing side. At best, they can hope, the best they can hope for is to draw a counter draw, and that serves no purpose. Now, the fact is that, once again, if it is a lottery pitch, it would be remiss of him not to go rank turner sort of a lottery pitch with a bit up, which would be a bit up and down. If it The fact is that more than the turn, what the batsmen fear is inconsistent bounce, when you cannot trust the bounce of a pitch, and that should be the case from Sri Lanka's point of view.
What happened in Pakistan recently? It was a terrible pitch, and
Haha,
ICC rated it as unsatisfactory.
exactly, exactly. That could be one demerit point, whatever it is. But from my previous experiences of covering cricket at the SSC, here for the new ball goes a bit, it carries a bit, the new ball does a bit. Earlier, that it used to happen like that, and then for the first 2 days, it becomes very good for batting. But if then again, if that is the case in this game also, Sri Lanka would be playing catch up. Sri Lanka once again would be playing catch up. They don't have that quality, so to reduce that margin, they will have to go for a lottery pitch. You rightly mentioned the commercial aspect of it, but I don't think they would suffer much, because once again, get receipts is redundant, given that it's pre-entry. You have already sold the broadcast rights for the entire series, irrespective of the number of days it would last. And then again, it's about the stands and the holdings. I don't think that should matter them much in terms of in terms of maximizing or optimizing the home advantage. They should go for a lottery pitch. If they don't do it, that it would be remiss of the management.
Curators only have a few hours to decide what they want to do as regards to the pitch. But at the same time, the
But once again, sorry to interrupt, Shubhan. What I see is that, unlike India, when India and this Indian team management, and not only Gautam Gambhir, I have seen that with the previous team management, previous management also. Basically, India are a bit obsessed when they play home series. They are a bit obsessed with the pitch. You see time and again the head coach and the captain walking up to the head curator, head groundsman. They will have conversation. Instructions will come 3 days before the start of a test match. But here, I mean, they are a bit indifferent, I would say. I mean, if behind the scenes there is instructions have been given, I don't know about that. But at least on the field, what I see, I haven't, even once I haven't seen Gary Kirsten walking up to the curator and having a conversation.
Absolutely, and he Gary did talk about, whatever pitch we get, we are ready to play, and we don't dwell too much around the pitch. So that is one point, and another aspect I think which will impact the how the players operate in this game is the conditions, the heat here. It is extremely intense, and that is why we are doing this live from indoors, from the press box itself, because if we go out, I don't think we'll be able to complete the 30-minute show with the kind of heat it is there right now, and the phone might just switch off due to heat. But it's going to be intense, Vaibhav. The heat, the humidity here, it's completely different from Gaul. You don't get that breeze which eases up that tension which grows into a human body amid this heat. So it's going to be a different condition, and a huge challenge for both the teams to turn up there and field for 90 overs and do their batting as well. We saw KL Rahul all cramped up in Gaul. Players were tired after 5 days of cricket practice sessions, etc., etc. So heat again is going to be one factor. Rain not so much in this city of Colombo, but heat is certainly going to be a big factor.
Yeah,
Although our match
definitely.
got impacted due to rain yesterday.
Yes, yes, but still, let's not talk about that match.
Even though even though Sri Lanka are playing in their own conditions, they are accustomed to these conditions. The players play first class cricket in these conditions. There are so many cricket clubs in Colombo, and yes, conditions will be extreme. It will be harsh on the players. Sun will continue to beat down on the players. But the good thing, Sri Lanka are used to it. The good thing is that Indian team is also used to the conditions in Colombo, because they arrived here in Colombo, then they trained here for 6 days, including three practice sessions and three match day. So I think India are also used to these conditions now. By now, they know that heat is going to be a factor in Colombo, and it was not the training sessions. The duration of the training session was always more than 3.5 hours.
Right.
So 3.5 hours of practicing in these heat. So they know what they are going to face in Colombo come at the second test. But I think it will be important for both the captains how they rotate the fast bowlers. Obviously, there won't be a lot of fast bowlers, short spells, but still you have to be very cautious with how you operate your fast bowlers. Spinners obviously will have to do the bulk of the job again from both the teams, as it is expected, regardless of how the wicket is going to play. Because in these conditions, I don't see any fast bowler bowling 7 or 8 overs in a spell. That is not going to happen. So max 4 or 5 overs or 6 overs, if the conditions allow. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. And even for the batters, they will have their task cut out. For somebody like Devdutt Padikkal, who has scored a big 100 in Gaul, and even for Shubman Gill, who will be eyeing a big score, Yashasvi Jaiswal, the openers, they have to bat long. Then they will have to counter this heat, and it will come down to the fitness of both the teams. It will test the fitness of the players of both the teams. So, and in that regard, I think India is ahead in terms of the fitness of the players. Because if you look at Sri Lanka, a lot of players, although they are fit, like Pathum Nisanga is fit, but he's not there to take the workload of Test cricket. So that is, in that regard, Indian team is fit, but again, conditions will be extreme. It is going to test the fitness of the players.
Now let's move to the second part of our 12 noon live, powered by IDFC First Bank. Shamikta, the playing combination. Of course, Yashasvi Jaiswal, we saw him leave a lot more ball at the nets. Shubman and Rishabh were attacking the spinners, but Yashasvi Jaiswal, who have been bothered by that cut shot, his perhaps one of his favorite shot, his stroke playing, his run scoring shot, he has been bothered by that shot getting out in recent times repeatedly. He was seen leaving a lot more balls in that fourth stump, fifth stump region, which he usually cuts and is getting out on that. So Yashasvi Jaiswal will be in focus. Did not have the best of games against Afghanistan. First test was not his, at least. And of course, Shubman Gill did not get runs in goal, so he will be hungry to get going here. Your Which players are you more looking forward to witnessing in this test match? And then we will talk about a bit on the playing combination.
Shubham, it is very, very difficult. However much you are leaving the ball for someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal, and I, I know him from his Kalina days, where he groomed into India batsman. So it is part of his muscle memory. That cut shot is part of his muscle memory, and however much he does, it needs monkish discipline out there in the middle when the match is on. It needs monkish discipline to do that. Something Sachin Tendulkar did at Sydney, scoring a double hundred without playing a cover drive, or Rohit Sharma did in 2021 in England. The way he left the ball outside the off stump in England on his way to that century. So that is monkish discipline. If Yashasvi Jaiswal can do that, great. But this shot has given him so many runs. So it is sort of he has sort of part of his muscle memory. Let's see how it happens. But I don't see. I mean, since the last 2 days, and you mentioned it first, that Saransh Jain in place of Kuldeep Yadav, that could be the only change if it happens.
Yesterday also Saransh post out of the blue he posted a
Mhm.
video of him bowling in Ranji Trophy,
Mm.
and on his social media platform
Maybe he
Instagram.
is excited.
Instagram. Maybe he's excited. Maybe he's looking back at all the memories which brought him to this place. But is it a serious possibility, Shamik, the Kuldeep
Yeah,
out Saransh
it's
Jain?
a possibility. Serious. I mean, yesterday also Sairaj Bhavdule kept the option open. And once again, it will be down to Shubman Gill. If Shubman feels that he has lost trust or confidence, not trust, trust is a different word. If he has, I mean, he is a bit short on confidence as far as Kuldeep's bowling is concerned. He will play Sarans Jain, and it would be completely the captain's call, no one else. Even if, I mean, I don't think Gautam Gambhir will overrule him, try to overrule him. Even if someone else comes up with a different idea, I think that will be overruled by the captain, because it is the captain who is there out in the middle, and it is his responsibility to use a bowler, and he is the best judge. But what I would like to see, whoever is left out, especially not Sarans Jain.
Shamik, there's of course there's
Mm,
this debate around the softer ball versus
yeah,
the
yeah,
harder
yeah.
ball. Do you see India go with four spinners
I'm not
just to give
completely
spinners the harder
completely
ball?
ruling it out. It would be a little outlandish, but I'm not completely ruling out based on the pitch how it. Prashit Krishna dropping Prashit Krishna and playing all four spinners. What, see, when you are playing four spinners, even during the heydays of Indian spin, when we used to boast
Famous quartet.
for the famous quartet, only there was only one test that where that famous quartet played together. So it is always one spinner too many, and it is always a bit outlandish. But I'm not completely ruling it out. I would say there is a 1% or 2% chance of that happening. But most likely, if it could be chance for Kuldeep, or I mean, once again, this probability is less that India are going unchanged. But my point is, Shubhan, it's not about Sharans or Kuldeep, because they would be representing Central Zone, and their matches in the Dalip Trophy would be later, I think, on the 30th. But if Gurnur Brar and Akib Nabi are not part of the playing 11 in this game, they should be released to play the Dalip Trophy, which is starting tomorrow, and North Zone is playing tomorrow.
And that has been done in the past as well, during the last test of the series, especially when a couple of players who are now not part. Of course you cannot release Sarfaraz, because in case of a concussion substitute you need a batter there, but as regards to the bowlers who are not playing, you can go on to release them. You released all the four net bowlers who were here, and they will now take part in the Dulip Trophy as well. So uh, if Akib Nabi is not playing, if Gurnur is not playing, or even Prasid Krishna is not playing, then you can release them and ask them to play the Dulip Trophy, and that would help them. Maybe put a case for the New Zealand tour as well. The next series, you don't have too many red ball matches going forward before the New Zealand series. Yes, there will be an A series, but before that, for that also you need to be in contention. You need to pick wickets, and in this heat back in India, I think for someone like an Akib Nabi or someone like a Gurnur Dar, it would always put up a case, or it will give them that extra chance of making it to the squad for the New Zealand series. Webber, your take on the Indian possible playing 11? Any changes you are expecting? Chances of four spinners in the 11 if team decides to use the harder ball for the spinners.
See, with this team management, I don't rule out any possibility. I have seen this team management playing four spinners in an ODI game, which never happened before. So it happened in Champions Trophy last year. We were there, and it took us aback. Means we were a bit surprised, but that tactic clearly worked. Then you see the number of spinners Indian team carried. Obviously, it was a different team management to USA and West Indies for the World Cup, T20 World Cup, and then the Asia Cup as well. You see the number of spinners were there. So spin, we have seen that happening, and but again, completely depend on this pitch. If it is going to be something which we have seen similar in Gaul, then I don't see four spinners playing. And then obviously, when Shubman Gill has already said that Prasidh Krishna is bowling at his best, and he was the pick of the pacers. If you look at from the Indian team in terms of the wickets taken, then obviously you cannot drop a Prasidh saying that now the conditions are not there. If the conditions are flat, then obviously you will have to play a Prasidh Krishna, and that's going to happen. So it can be a possibility, but don't see that happening if the wicket is like what we are seeing. It is going to play good. It is not going to be it shouldn't be a lottery wicket, because then demerit point is also one thing that Sri Lanka must be
Australia
cautious.
146 for 7.
Yeah, one for
That's an interesting match that is going on. I have not watched a lot of balls or live action there. Have they prepared a deathbed or what? 64, 147 for 7.
I think it's there's Shariful Islam playing his first test has already got a fifer. So yes, he was not there for the first test, replacing about this.
Lottery pitch.
But it is purely seam friendly conditions as we expected. But
Plus,
if you
it's,
look at
it's
it,
the
yeah,
winter season. It's
and
peak winter
but
season.
if you look at in Darwin, the spinners were into play. Look at a Mehdi Azam, Miraj, Tajul Islam. These guys took wickets, a lot of wickets. But now, if you've seen what is happening is in Mackay, then you know that there is complete assistance for the fast bowlers, nothing at all. Obviously, first day of the test match, so obviously a lot of assistance for the fast bowlers. Mitchell Stark already a six for Shariful, another left armer taking a five for. But coming to this game, I don't see four spinners playing, to be honest. And regarding the change, I think not only that pitch will decide what in combination India will go with. I think they will by now they will have a bit of idea of what Sri Lanka are going to do with the playing 11, because they have added two left-handers in the playing in the squad, and with them dropping one opener in Nishan Madushka and Dinesh Chandimal obviously being ruled out, two changes are going to be there in Sri Lankan team. And obviously Kamil Mishara is what I am hearing is all set for his debut tomorrow. So he will open with Lairu Dara, and at 3 Pasindu Surya Bandara. So I think another left-hander would tempt the Indian team to go with Saranjan. But again, if they back Kuldeep Yadav, then I think it is going to be good, because ultimately you have to play Kuldeep. You cannot just leave him out after just one test match.
Even some comments I saw, they are also asking the Indian team to play with the same combination. Shamik, the last question: expecting Kuldeep Yadav to turn up for the practice session?
Yes, Kuldeep, KL, both.
Both.
Yeah, because they didn't train yesterday. So I expect both Kuldeep and KL and Shubman Gill. This is an
Both of them specifically had asked the team management for extra rest.
because and Shubman never misses a training session, irrespective of the workload or anything. He is someone who is deep into. He is very obsessed with training, and that is part of his preparation. So Shubman also, but Shubman, coming back to one question that you asked me about the ball getting softer, and I totally agree with Sairaj Bhautale what he said. It becomes very difficult for a wrist spinner when the ball becomes softer because the seam falls. Um, the Kookaburra ball, if you go to Kookaburra ball, it gets softer pretty early, pretty soon. And if you go to Australia, that is the place, basically that is the hub, that is the place for Kookaburra ball. Even in Australia, if you and Australian pitches, you have to consider the fact Australian pitches have a lot more bounce compared to what we have in Asia. And if you see there, except Shane Warne should not be brought into any discussion, because what Shane Warne was to cricket I mean, it is what that Pele was to football or Bobby Fischer was to chase. So he is an absolute genius, once in 100 years bowler. So that is, but if you, Australia over the years have produced some very good leg spinners, Jim Higgs, Terry Jenner, all of them, if you, and even currently, Adam Zampa, he is no longer a test bowler. Stuart McGill, to an extent, was successful, but then again, Stuart McGill always came into that act after McGrath, Gillespie, and Brett Lee. So that was the case. But otherwise, even in Australia, the leg spinners have suffered when the ball became with the soft Coca-Cola.
I think the last leg spinner who has got success in Test cricket was Yasir Shah. Yasir Shah was brilliant. I think he has some record of fastest to be 200 or 250 Test wickets. And if you talk about the other leg spinner, then it was Devendra Vishu who played for 5 7 years. Apart from that, there are no even Rashid Khan has stopped playing Test cricket for Afghanistan, obviously due to fitness concerns as well. But it is a trend. It's a declining trend of wrist spinners. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But that was Hasaranga. Hasaranga doesn't want to play right. He has quit first class cricket. So it eventually comes down to the players as well. And this is what the problem in Sri Lanka cricket is also, that players are looking to for franchisee opportunities. They are saying that if we are getting the same amount of money, then why would we bowl 30 overs, 40 overs in a day and play 5 day Test cricket, rather than we'll bowl 4 hours and play and earn. And it's about getting money. It's about declining interest of the active players, the current crop of players towards Test cricket.
But Vaibhav, that is, I mean,
Very
not a,
unfortunate.
no, that is not a modern day problem. Leg spinners are a rare breed, and that has always been the case. That has always been the case. If you go back, even in the 1980s, Abdul Qadir, the only leg spinner, the only world class leg spinner. Shiva flirted with promise for a while, then faded. After that, again, Narendra Hirani came after making a great debut, faded. So that it has always been the case. 1930s, very few leg spinner, no leg spinner. 1940, no leg spinner. 50s, Richie Beno. So leg spinners are a rare breed, and that has always been the case.
And this is surprising that two of the best bowlers who have played this game, Shane Warne and Anil Kumble, are eventually leg spinners. Right?
And their time coincided, clashed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I think this is it for this 12 noon show powered by IDFC First Bank. And now we'll head to the Sri Lanka press conference, and followed by the India press conference and practice session. We'll give you all the updates as to who turned up and what they did in the nets. On the eve of the match, so stay tuned. Let us know your playing 11 in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends for more coverage from Sri Lanka and all over the sporting world. Thank you so much.